The coming draft budget of Ethiopia tabled for discussion among government officials and various sections of the community at a public hearing in the House of People's Representatives is aimed at tackling the problems expected in a coming budget year. Cognizant of the fact that ETV English approached the Minister of Finance Ahmed Shide, he said that the draft budget for the Ethiopian fiscal year 2015 has given priority to reducing inflation.
In the first 2 years, we have successfully implemented a very cautious deficit financing by introducing treasury bills to open market and saving mobilized through all commercial banks and financial institutions or pension funds were participating in treasury bill market, which means they are financing the deficit financing of the government, which is not as such inflationary compared to national bank borrowing. So we had limited consistently for the first 2 years of the reform the national bank borrowing of deficit financing. But unfortunately, since the last year, we have a little bit increased our national bank borrowing because of the increased demand for additional expenditures of humanitarian and security sector expenditure, and the reconstruction need also further expenditure, in the context which we have to also finance all the ongoing projects, which are so many that has been introduced the last 3 years as a result of ambitious prosperity and growth objectives.
Ahmed said that the government has been taking corrective measures, especially in the financial transaction, the financial system, to solve the problem of inflation across Ethiopia permanently. The minister further stated that measures against the challenges faced by the country, such as protection of national security, assisting displaced people, and rebuilding damaged infrastructures, the proposed budget is workable.
The very objective of the budget is to sustain the growth of the country and development of the country, and building the national security capacity to safeguard the national security of the country is also among the priorities, and the rebuilding of damaged infrastructure, livelihood businesses in the conflict affected areas is also another priority. For example, we have allocated 20 billion birr for reconstruction and rehabilitation program. That is from the budget treasury, but we have another project with World Bank, which is 3R project, rehabilitation, response and recovery program, which is $300 million, which is going to address restoration of livelihoods, essential services to war-affected areas in all the regions which has been affected by the conflict. So it addresses water supply, education, health, and the municipality services, and addressing the IDP, reintegration of IDP to their areas, and responding to the needs of IDPs is part of the project. The next year budget is focusing also on the reconstruction of war-damaged areas.
As the minister, despite measures attempted to, tangible measures have not been made to lower the soaring inflation in the country through various remedial mechanisms, including subsidies.
We had Corona, which was very challenging. We had domestic conflict, which was challenging to the inflation. We had flood. We had desert locust in Corona, and then the significant drought has brought multiple challenges to our macroeconomic reform objectives. That has undermined the early success we had in terms of controlling inflation. That's why still we have higher inflation, which is unacceptable. It is affecting the people at large, and particularly fixed income earners are the major losers on this, and it's impacting a lot on the livelihood of money. The government is addressing this one through strengthening of production capacity in the economy, by focusing on agricultural growth objectives, on diversifying the source of growth, on promoting export and increasing our export performance was also another very objectives.
It was noted that the draft budget referred to the Parliament for approval is 786.61 billion Ethiopian birr.